If as the day progresses, your voice starts to sound hoarse and weak, this video is going to be helpful to you. Today's question is from Goat Julian. I want to know if you have any more advice on breathing properly or ways to make sure my voice stays resonant throughout the day. I found that emotional triggers aren't the main cause for my hoarse voice. My voice sounds resonant and easy to use when I wake up and for a good part of the day, but as the day progresses, it often gets hoarse and weak. I want to be able to feel like I can talk and sound normal whenever I want to. How can I maintain a normal and easygoing voice throughout the day? Do you have any more ideas of what I might be doing wrong? I was thinking it might be not breathing properly. Do you have any tips or advice on breathing? I just want my voice to sound good and powerful throughout the whole day. I've been struggling with this for so long. Thank you, Julian, for the question. I'll go over how the voice functions, what happens when you wake up and why it sounds good, and then what happens as the day progresses, resulting your voice to sound hoarse and weak, and then I'll give you 4 tips to help you out. How do the vocal cords work out? Well, they're located right here and they are shaped like these 2 fingers, kind of like this rubber band, and they vibrate to produce a sound. It's called connecting. And when you're speaking in higher pitch, they stretch out. When you speak in low pitch, they relax. Now, when your voice sounds hoarse or weak, in other language, the mechanics is your vocal cords are not connecting. They're just airy. Air is flowing through them without them connecting strongly and powerfully. Well, why does this happen? This happens because of muscle tightness. The muscles that are close around the vocal cords become chronically tight and they make it hard for the vocal cords to vibrate. And when that happens, other compensatory muscles try to help out, like the trapezoids, the shoulders, muscles in the neck, the jaw, and in the lips try to produce the sound because these muscles are not doing a sufficient job. But they fail to do so, and you end up sounding hoarse and weak. So when you wake up, it's likely that your muscles are so relaxed, and it's likely also that you're speaking in a low-pitch voice, more calm, maybe a little bit even more monotone, and that's why it sounds resonant and easy to use. But as the day progresses, you start to use higher pitches. Good morning. How are you? How was your day? How was your weekend? You're trying to sound more friendly, potentially. Or maybe you're using your outdoor voice. Your outdoor voice is louder volume. Subsequently, it requires a higher pitch. Well, like I mentioned earlier, when the vocal cords go in high pitch, they stretch out. And when they stretch out, if the muscles are tight, it's hard for them to vibrate and connect and produce the sound. So we start to sound hoarse and weak. So the solution is to condition the muscles close around the voice, to release the tension and to build strength. This way, when you go in high pitch, they still vibrate. And you're not sounding weak or hoarse, you're sounding powerful and you sound good and normal. Well, how can you do that? Well, first of all, a more of a mental tip. I encourage you to stay comfortable with your current pitch. Well, what does that mean? We tend to mirror people around us. If somebody is speaking to us in high pitch, we tend to go on high pitch, but maybe we don't have that capability yet. And then we get nervous and then we use pitches that we don't have in our system yet. So it's important to stay comfortable where you are. Also, I know you have been doing exercises because we have been chatting in the comment section. And I encourage you to record yourself weekly to measure your progress, because every time you go in higher pitches or pitches that are not activated in your voice and it's hard for you to hit them and you start to sound hoarse and weak, you may think to yourself, oh, I'm not making any progress. Oh, the progress I'm making is temporary and it's not permanent. But that's not true. You're always going to expand at your edges. You're always growing, and there's always, as you're growing, you think, oh, I don't have this. But the truth is, you're expanding your circle. You're expanding your range. So the best way to make sure you're on the right path is to record yourself weekly saying something, an affirmation or a quote, your favorite quote, or a prayer, whatever works for you. And say it the same way every week. And you'll notice that every week you have the ability to say it with more pitches as you're doing the vocal exercises and the humming exercise that's in the free mini course below. So that's the first tip. The second tip is you ask for a breathing exercise. I happen to have a favorite breathing exercise. Take a nice deep breath and let out air on the sound of the letter S. Now, what is so special about the letter S? The letter S allows your body to let out air in a controlled way, which subsequently helps you gain more control over your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is a sheet of muscle around your solar plexus area, and it helps your lungs inhale and exhale. It contracts to let out air, and it expands and moves downward to let in air. And as you're pronouncing the letter S very gently, you'll notice your diaphragm starts to move up as air is being let out of your mouth. Now I like to aim for 30 seconds, so let's give it a shot together and try to go. It doesn't have to be loud. If it's loud, you're letting out air too strongly and too much. The more gentle, the better. You want to have fine awareness, fine-tuned awareness of this muscle, okay? So let's start. Take a nice deep breath. Relax your muscles. Great job. You may only reach 10 seconds. You may only reach 20 seconds. It's gonna get better day after day. It's very grounding, it's very calming, which is so important to produce clear sound, to have clear and calm speech. It's important to feel calm yourself and not to be swept away by mirroring other people's pitches or other people's way of speaking. You want to be grounded in your own way of speaking as well. The steadier, the better. The more steadier S sound is, the better it is. So in the beginning, it may fluctuate. In time, you're going to be able to make it more steady. You can do it once a day. You can do it throughout the day, like 3-4 times a day, periodically. It's going to help you not only condition your breathing, it's going to calm you down too. My third tip is to do the same exercise, but now you're going to vocalize it. Now you're going to engage the vocal cords to help them vibrate. And we're not going to stress the vocal cords by vibrating them in a high pitch. You're going to practice in the lowest pitch you can. Just let gravity and the heaviness take over. And as you relax your body, this vibration is the master key to start releasing the tension from your voice. So instead of the letter S, we're going to do the letter V. Take a nice deep breath and pronounce the letter V. Notice the vibration in your body. Is it in your belly? Is it in your throat? And now I encourage you to go in lower pitch. Kind of like get lazy with it. This crackly sound is good. This vibration is releasing the tension and conditioning the muscles to help the vocal cords actually connect. You may be thinking, oh, well, I'm practicing in low pitch. Does that mean I'm not going to have high pitch when I need to? I'm not going to be able to sound friendly or excited or even frustrated when I need to? Actually, as you're doing this practice, you're allowing your body and your sound system. The sound system is a little bit more complex than people think. You're allowing your voice to access higher pitches and still maintain the vibration. That's the whole point. We want to be able to access these high pitches and still keep the vibration, so we sound good and powerful instead of sounding weak and hoarse and airy. So let's see if we can go. So when you pronounce, when you vocalize as air is letting out, you may not be able to hit the 30 seconds. You may be able to hit a little bit less. So let's see. Nice deep breath. Invite the vibration lower in your body. 10. 20. So now we're combining the breathing with the vocalizing. You notice you may want to clear your throat. That's a sign that you're activating parts of your voice that haven't been active for so long. So that's a great way. Now you're stacking exercises. You're stacking the breathing exercise with the vocalizing exercise. If you were just doing the vocalizing exercise on its own, you would only do it for 5 seconds. You do and take a breath. And take a breath. But because you're trying to train your diaphragm, which is a great thing to do, now you're stacking exercises and taking one deep breath in a calm manner and letting it out and seeing how far you can go with it. Steady and calm and controlled. You don't want to let out the air all at once. It's not so if it's the letter H, everything's let out in 2 seconds. You don't have any more air. But with the letter S, with the letter V, you're being strategic about the way you're letting out air, and you're conditioning your body and your voice to work in coordination. Now the last tip, and I'm glad to read that your self-assessment, it's not an emotional trigger. I would like to bring to your awareness that even though you may not be triggered throughout the day that causes your voice to sound hoarse and weak, the tightness close around your vocal cords have been created in the first place by a suppressed emotion or an emotional trigger that got suppressed maybe a long time ago. That is commonly the scenario. Otherwise, you wouldn't have this tightness right now. So yes, your day may be going fine, but the muscles are living in the echo of the tightness that has been created maybe years ago, maybe months ago. So my invitation to you, if this makes sense, if something happened in the past that you feel may have caused your voice to tighten up, and that's when you first started to sound hoarse and weak, this is something that you can revisit and reprocess and upgrade your mental programming about it. Sometimes there are limiting beliefs that have been created, like I'm not good enough, I don't have something important to say, or I'm not allowed to have an opinion or to express my thoughts or to express my emotions. Otherwise, I can get punished for it. I can get criticized for it. I can get laughed at for it. Sometimes we have these programs in the soil of our subconscious mind, these seeds. And to have sustainable results, we want to go deep into the unconscious mind and uproot these seeds and replace them with seeds that are empowering, that are confidence-inducing, that give us the ability to have charisma and speak with power naturally and easily. So you can do affirmations, and if you want more focused help, if you want to fast track your results, I'll be happy to help you. I'll put a link below to book a coaching session. It's actually at a special rate as I'm recording this video, so that's a great opportunity. And I'll be happy to help you go into this event and uproot the event and upgrade it so that you feel better about it, so that your system, so to speak, your unconscious mind stops creating this tension over and over. It's just energetically in your nervous system, the tension is not there anymore, and all you have to do is do the vocal exercises. And I can also listen to you doing the vocal exercises to make sure you're optimizing your results. But other than that, I think you're doing a great job. We've been talking in the comments, you're practicing a lot of things, and you're already seeing results, which I love. So get comfortable in your own current range and make sure you're measuring your range to motivate you that you're on the right path. You're actually expanding your speech. It's just sometimes when you go in this higher pitches, you start to lose the vibrations, like, oh man, I'm not making progress. No, you're actually making progress. It's just in different tones. When you wake up, when you're calm, everything is working well. But as you step out the house, maybe something starts to happen. Challenges come up with your voice, and your voice just needs the time to expand its capacity, its range. Breathing, vocalizing, and making sure that your unconscious mind is cleared up and is empowering you to speak your truth. I hope that helps. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you have more questions, I'll be happy to answer you either in the comment section, or if I think it's a good idea, I can make another video about it. See you in the next video.